intro. I love these shades, y'all. If you can see, which most of you should be able to see, because this is also going up on YouTube.
Yeah, guys, check out Hurrdat Media's YouTube if you want to see our beautiful faces and sometimes my beautiful glasses. Today, Aaron laughed in my face. And
why are you I like the shades.
He laughed in my face. He didn't even let me say, hey. He didn't say, hey. He just started off the episode by laughing in my face. I think it counts as bullying.
Name them.
Countries.
Name them. Name them.
But we're going to let that go. I am here and I am in glasses and a pink crop top because I just did not feel like doing my makeup today. So I was just like, let me throw on some glasses and, set the vibes for the girlies. Like I have in a ponytail, I have on a pink crop top, and I have on some flower sunglasses that I wanted to show off. And a really cool thing about me is that not only do you guys send me memes and you're like, oh, this is so you, Kaya, but sometimes when you guys see really cool sunglasses, you guys send me sunglasses because I like sunglasses. Like I literally have sunglasses that have no lenses. I have sunglasses that are like, they light up in a room, like they're LED sunglasses. They light up to the rhythm in the room. I have sunglasses that are just like very forward looking. I'm like a sunglasses kind of girl. It doesn't have to always be name brand. They just have to be interesting. So maybe I'll bring some of the sunglasses to the podcast. And one of our friends, Emily, she does sunglasses more than anyone that I know. And, she does it well. So shout out to Emily from She Speaks Bravo. But hello, we are back and we are Black in action.
I'm excited. I'm excited to be here. This is our Bravo episode. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of a little jealous because now I want sunglasses and I feel like it's a bit too late for that. So
way too late. Yeah, you can't even run and get it if you wanted to.
No, I can't.
And that's that's what you get for laughing in my face.
I'm handcuffed to my seat. So next time I will be wearing sunglasses.
Hell yeah. Let's just try a bunch of things out now that we're on camera. And if you see us doing or looking a certain way and looking like idiots, don't say anything. Just join in. We want you at home to join in on our antics. So the next time we come and we have sunglasses on, we want you to pause the video, go get your sunglasses, put them on, and continue to watch the video or listen to the podcast. And we'll let you know on the podcast if we're wearing the sunglasses. You guys, I just wanted to address one other thing that we have gotten DMs about, which is I thought that the issue was solved, but some people are still messaging us saying that they're not getting notified when we release new episodes. And I don't know what's up with that. Our feed it's one feed.
We're back. We're back.
We're Black. It's cool. So maybe what you should do is maybe like unsubscribe from our feed and then resubscribe, or update your Apple app or whatever app it is you use to listen to us, or just come on over to YouTube and watch us so you can see our faces and we can feel like we see your beautiful faces. So yeah, we're here. We have new episodes. We don't plan on skipping any episodes anytime soon. Even next week is Thanksgiving, and I don't know if we're recording on Thanksgiving. Don't think so, but we'll probably do one beforehand so that way you're still fed.
Exactly. So make sure you just refresh that feed. Like Kara said, that's actually a really good idea. Unsubscribe and then subscribe again, because I know sometimes that's the problem. Maybe your podcast app isn't up to date, and I've had to do that on a few occasions with a few of my favorite podcasts. So I think that's a great tip.
Something else that we're doing is that we announced on Threads that we are going to start manifesting who we want to have as guests on the show. We know that you have suggestions, which that comes first. Like what you guys want will always come first because we wouldn't be here without y'all, and we want you guys to have a good time listening. And we also don't just want to have guests on just because they're big. No shade. Just because they have a lot of followers. We just want it to be very genuine with people that we really like fuck with. So I did like maybe a starting 5. I think it was either 4 or 5. I know that I said number 1 was Christina Ariel. Number 2 was Naya. Number 3, I believe, was Gibsonoma. I love to just refer to him by his Instagram name. I know also Watch What Crappens was one. And who am I missing? Oh, the very, very hilarious and gorgeous Nia, who she has a feed of like Black luxury that I'm obsessed with, and she's a very good supporter, and we DM with Nia all the time. And she thinks that we are so messy, and it's so funny.
Not messy.
Because I'm telling her, like, when we have on people, we are very respectful. Of course, we're going to get nosy. We're going to get all in your business. We're going to do everything that we need to do to give a good show. But we're also going to talk about, like, your interests. What are you watching? How did you grow up? What are you eating, more importantly? Like fun things like that. So obviously we're not one of those pods who are just so thirsty to either break a story, continue on a story, break down people, like be negative. No, like we just want to have a good time, and we want you to have a good time. So with that being said, let us know who you want on the pod, and we'll do our damnedest to at least ask, because someone said Kenya, and I'm like, as much as I would love Kenya, baby, I don't know if we have that clout.
Yeah, I don't know if we have that connect yet.
Not
but
yet.
I would definitely say, you know, baby steps. Just, hey, throw it out there. Manifest it for us.
That's the biggest thing, is that if you can believe, then you can achieve. Exactly. Yeah. Jinx, you owe me a soda. Yeah. So, that is the housekeeping. This is a Bravo episode. We haven't done this in a while. Not the Bravo episode, but what we're about to do is Bravolebrity. Bravolebrity. Which is obviously the hot topics that are floating about in the Bravo sphere, and Aaron is going to be the guide and the host of Bravolebrity today.
I definitely want to get into it. I want to ask y'all, have you seen Heavenly's latest episode? I believe it's on YouTube. I know it's on YouTube. I think it's on Carlos King's channel. But they do like little episodes together promoting Married to Medicine, etc., getting into other Bravo tea. Dr. Heavenly spoke on sweet tea, and y'all know it's been a lot of stuff floating around, you know, even on the show with her being a gold digger. They're calling her all kinds of stuff. And Dr. Heavenly took to Instagram. I want to preface this by saying Dr. Heavenly actually likes sweet tea.
I can't tell.
Yeah, despite what people might think, she likes her. The only thing is, you know, Dr. Heavenly's just a bit shady. So she spoke on it, and she said that she felt if Quad wanted Dr. G back, that she can easily have him back, despite
which is a fact.
Despite Sweet Tea being married to him now. So you think that's a fact? Okay.
This is not an opinion. This is 100% a fact. Dr. Gregory did not want to let go. I mean, as toxic, and we saw how toxic their relationship was, he did not want to let Quad go. And even though he may put on a front that he's completely over her, it was the worst time of his life, he wanted this and she wouldn't give it to him, he wants to spin the block. He wants that old thing back. And this is no shade against Sweet Tea. It just is what it is. What do you think about that?
I do think that Dr. G and Quad are done with each other. I think it's like a mutual thing. And I feel like it's moved forward a bit too much. Like if we were talking about the reunion where they last spoke and all of that happened, then I would say, yeah, I think it could be feasible and work out. But now I feel like with Sweet Tea, I don't know about that.
I'm not saying, I want you to think about the actual, like the main question, not like if he, you know, if this was the reunion, when the timing, are they done with each other? Do they want each other? That's not the question. The question is, if Quad did want Dr. Gregory back, do you think she would be able to pull?
Not at this time.
Not at this time. So you think that Dr. G is completely faithful to Sweet Tea?
Oh, no, I didn't say all that. I'm not going to go that far. But I think him and Quad are done.
Okay, so you think that that's a wrap for sure?
I do.
Forever.
I think that's a wrap for sure.
Forever, ever.
Too many things, as they would say on Married to Medicine, too many things have transpired between the two. So I just don't see that happening again. I also want to know, do you think that Sweet Tea and Dr. G make a good couple? Could you see them together long term?
I could absolutely see them together long term because Sweet Tea has made it clear that she wants an older man who gives her access to the money and have a child. And I think that Dr. G is that older man with the stability who, if you know they want to, they can have a child. And he seems more into her than she is into him. So I do think that they would be in it for the long term. But what I will say is, if something was to go wrong, Sweet Tea would take him for all he's got.
That's a hot take.
You think so?
I mean,
I think it's very obvious.
Yeah.
I think it's super obvious because she is in a group about younger women dating older men. She has made it clear that she's happy that she got access to the money. She has made it clear that she's moved in and made it her own place. She has made it clear that, you know, she wants to have children and that, you know, when she leaves, she's not leaving with nothing. She got married for a reason. And she got married to him for a reason. And that reason is not attractiveness or attraction. What do you think?
I mean, I feel like maybe I need to fill her out a bit more. I'll say this. I do enjoy Sweet Tea. I have been enjoying her. It's like, it's hard to dislike her. And I feel like I can like Quad, and you know, Quad.
You can.
I'm gonna choose Quad. I'm gonna choose Quad over everybody. But
it's like being one of the women. Like, yeah, they're hanging out with Sweet Tea, but some of them, they are like Phaedra, for example. She's going dress shopping, which is very weird to me. But she's going dress shopping with Sweet Tea, and she's still able to be friends, close friends with Quad. So in that same vein, if you're able to be a fan of both, if she's able to be a fan of both, you're able to be a fan of both.
Yeah, so I have been enjoying her a lot. And I think I have to see a little bit more of her to really determine that. But like you said, the proof is in the pudding. I mean, I can't deny what she said so far. This is all we have. This is all the information we have. So based on this information, it would easily seem like she's just with him for the money, or because this is what she's always imagined her whole life, being with the older man. and for him to
Yeah,
take on
I
the
think that
bills
she was
and the
very
responsibility.
intentional.
Mhm.
She was very intentional in her dating, and she got exactly like what she was looking for. And my thing is like, why are we, not we, but like the collective we, why are we acting as if he didn't choose her because she was a younger, attractive woman with a body that he enjoys? So why is it that, oh my God, this girl is such a gold digger, when it's like, oh my God, this grown ass man could find another grown ass woman if he wants to? Be clear.
It's
Just
true.
like with Mia and Gordon, that whole situation. Why do you think that you chose Mia? Because she had a fat ass and some nice titties. Why do you think that Mia chose you? Because you had a fat pocketbook and a nice house. So I think if we're going to judge her, we're actually going to have to judge him. Now, as far as if I like her, I don't know if I could say that I like her, but I do not dislike her. What do you think about because this episode, we're not really going to dive too much into Married to Medicine and Potomac, because we have a lot to get to with Salt Lake City and Beverly Hills, which we haven't touched on at all. But I do want to know, just from this episode, what did you think about the dress shopping portion?
I enjoyed it. I thought it didn't seem forced, even though I did wonder, like you, why Phaedra was on this particular trip. I was like, I was a bit confused, but I think they're just trying to form a bond between the cast. That's really what I think, just on the outside looking in. But I liked it. I liked the final dress too. I thought she was gorgeous. But I will say, even though I know you didn't ask, I'm ready for this bachelorette party.
That's what everyone is ready for and waiting on, because for Quad to come to her ex-husband's new future bride's bachelorette party after she literally basically just got done scolding them for bringing Quad up, that's interesting.
And I actually seen the sneak preview of the next episode. Tori's going to have a wine tasting event, and that's when Heavenly is going to be heavenly towards Sweet Tea and really get into a few things we've been wondering. So I look forward to seeing it.
Heavenly can be a little bit hellish when she wants to. And that's just that on that.
Yeah, that's how she is. She's always going to be like that.
Is there any other Bravolebrity that you want to dive to, or do we only want to talk about that topic for today?
Yeah, I would say that's all I got, y'all. Everything else,
it's just stuff that you've seen over and over and over again.
Yeah. Our stuff we already hashed out about BravoCon, so
I'm so BravoCon out.
I don't even want to talk about it, because they're like, at the panel at the Beverly Hills, they talk about, like, I already know.
It's just different when you were there. No shade.
We were there. We seen. And I think we showed you. We literally posted all the panels, most of them at least.
The important ones. We didn't post Beverly Hills because we weren't close. But I told you on Threads exactly what was going on. And it was mainly, the main event was Kyle and Mauricio's marriage. And I went into detail about how Kyle felt about the ladies talking about her marriage. So, yeah. Okay, we're done with Bravolebrity. Let's get into these recaps. We have a few episodes, so it'll be not an episode by episode recap, but like what's happened so far recap. Let's get in to Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, since that's the one that's been running. And that, I mean, there hasn't been an episode that's missed yet.
Yeah, and we're seeing, I actually think that I'm getting the perfect amount of Mary too.
Right. I don't need Mary to be a friend of, like, she's less than a friend of. She's more like a special guest. And I think that's just the right amount, because with that mouth, you don't know what's going to come out next.
It's way too much, and it'll throw the vibe off. But
But when
I
she
think
does show up, she is herself and
yeah.
she gives us something every single time. I know that some people have complained, like, why is she even on the cast? Why is she invited? Why do we need her? And it's because she can give us the bare minimum and we'll still ask, like, wow, when is the next Mary scene? Wow, that was so horrible. Wow, that was so hilarious. Like, she gives us exactly how much of Mary that she needs, because if you had any more than that, you kind of walk away feeling weird. But I think the point of contention, we can go storyline by storyline, but the main point of contention, other than Lisa versus Monica, is people want to know what we think about Monica and her mom. What do you think about that situation? Do you think that it's all her mom, or do you think that it's Monica and her mom, or do you think that no one is really to blame, or what is it that you think? Because she talks about how her mom is, you know, we see how terrible she can be, but at the same time, she also has these moments where she's like, oh, I remember growing up, you know, we had like these Mormon people who would come to our house and it felt like they were, you know, like siblings. And then she also talks about how when her husband's family basically like abandoned her, her mom would come over every holiday. And even though it wasn't a good time, her mom would still come over and they made that a thing. So what do you think about Monica's relationship with her mom?
I think it starts with her mom. I do think her mom is to blame, but I think now that she's an adult, she's also to blame because you have to be in control of your actions. Every time you don't get your way, and we see this outside of her relationship with her mom, she throws these tantrums and fits. She gets loud. You can't really talk to her. And even that was her problem with Lisa too. You can't, it's hard to communicate with someone who's so loud and who's so they just think they know everything.
She's childish.
She's extremely childish. But ultimately her mom is to blame because that's how she was raised. I believe in her childhood, that's probably how she got her way a lot of the time. So that's just what she was taught to do. And even in her adulthood, I think it's just we see with the car situation, it's like a bunch of weird shit. Your mom just takes your car all of a sudden and then just brings it back like nothing happened. Like, hey, I wanted to talk to you, so now I brought you back your car.
In a Burberry suit.
Yeah.
And then walks home.
I don't know. I kind of liked it. I like it for TV.
I like it for TV, but the relationship is extremely toxic. I go back and forth between feeling really bad for Monica, but also feeling like you are, like, she wants to call Lisa 50 years old and all these names. You're 40 years old. You have the car in your mom's name. You know that you have 4 daughters. So as soon as you're able to get the car out of your mom's name, you shouldn't allow her to do that. You need to get the car in your name or get a different car. Like,
it's weird too being on Housewives of Salt Lake City. You are presenting yourself as a housewife of Salt Lake City. So with that being said, I wouldn't even show that part of my life if that was the truth. Like, you wouldn't even know about that. I'm sorry.
But that's the caveat. What Andy said was, because Jeff Lewis said something very savage at BravoCon. He was like, Monica is on food stamps. And I'm like, oh my God. But then Andy like recovered and was like, I think that's why we like Monica so much, because she is showing what it's like not to necessarily be of a certain, have a certain amount of money. But then on one hand, it's like, yeah, that's relatable, but it's like, it's too much. Like, you're too, Gina was in the casita and we're always roasting Gina for being in the casita. But this woman, like, she has a whole house, but she doesn't have a car. And you're on Housewives and you're calling Lisa 50 years old, but you're 40 years old and you seem more irresponsible because you're talking about therapy and how therapy doesn't work with your mom, but you also need therapy for your own personal problems because you don't just have problems with your mom, you have problems with your friends, the people around you, because she had that squabble with Angie. She has problems with her relationship because she cheated on her husband, went back, and then broke up again. You have problems with yourself because you have low self-esteem about where you are in your life, and then you have problems with your mom on top of that. So it's not just all her mom. Her mom is terrible. Please don't get me wrong. She's like mommy fucking dearest. But at the same time, when you introduced your mom, we met her when they were basically like doing, I don't know, the baby clothes or whatever it was that they were selling. She was rolling up and they were packing, and it didn't seem like the relationship that she's presenting now. Like, did you pivot into showing how toxic the relationship is? Because before you were with the mom and you were with her mom, and it was like this family unit of you are a single mother and you have a business and you have 4 daughters and they're helping you with the business and your mom helps you and your mom watches the kids and your mom is this, your mom is your rock. And then all of a sudden now you're basically telling everyone how horrible your mom is. So it's just like, I'm not doubting her, but it's just very confusing. Everything is very confusing and she's taking it out on the people around her.
I agree, because at first I didn't think it was going to get to this point. Now, I will say also, although her mom is extremely toxic, is she likable? Yeah. I'll say it. She gives me like somebody from like, is that show called The Kings of Queens?
With Kevin James?
Yeah. I feel like she would fit like perfectly on
she's
that
like
show.
a recurring character that comes in like every 4
episodes. She's a bit fun, and then until it's not fun, and then you're like, oh damn, like she's horrible. But then she comes back again, like at the Nets event, and then she said something like really funny, and you're like, oh, she's not that bad. So it's like you keep going back and forth. And that's how I also feel with Monica as well, because there are certain moments where I'm like, okay, I can deal with her. But then it's like at her grandma's retirement center when they're trying to play bingo and you're doing all this cursing and like the stuff she was saying, it was just a bit much.
Yeah, and then she has the nerve to be like, you called me a motherfucker? Like, look at you and what you're doing and how you have these daughters.
It's crazy. It's like time and place.
I don't know. She is a lot, and I just don't know. Like, although she's bringing very good storyline, whether it's the whole thing with Angie K, which Lisa got on Angie K's ass, and I'm glad about that because I'm sorry. I know you're an Angie K fan.
No,
she's
that
being fake as fuck.
I do. I will. I have to say.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that. She has that storyline with Angie K. She has the mom storyline. She has the I fucked my husband's brother storyline. She has a lot of storyline, but I'm like, is this the right show though? Because it's just like you have a lot going on, but you might have too much going on for me.
I seen a post that was like, she's TLC.
Yeah.
Like, she's meant for TLC. She's not meant for Bravo. And I absolutely agree with that. I think in some elements she's good, but it's just a bit too much.
Would you bring her back for next season?
No.
Me either. That's so crazy. Because I know that usually when someone has multiple storylines, it's like bring them back immediately. But whether I like them or not, like, because they're good for the show. But with this, it's like, I don't know, you're kind of missing the mark a bit.
Yeah. I think it's just a bit too much.
Okay, so let's move on to some of the other Salt Lake City ladies. What do we think about Whitney in general? Like what is her storyline this year?
being mad at the man because he's not able to pay for her stuff anymore like that.
I mean, but they just got their daughter a golf cart for her birthday.
That was a bit confusing. I did like the little party that they had for her, and she's like, I can drink all the, what did she say? I can drink all the Dr. Pepper I want.
Same. Me to my mom.
Yeah, but she's not really doing anything. And I don't know, I kind of like it for her. I'm like, just stay out the way a little bit. And let the other girls do what they're doing.
What did you think about her talking about how in her household she doesn't use certain language and that, you know, her kids can hear Lisa? Because I was split about that. Like, on one hand, absolutely, you have to respect someone's household. But on the other, if you have an adult friend coming over and y'all are getting into the gossip and the tea, go in another room or tell your kids to
or meet up. Meet up. You don't have to necessarily go to your place if you don't want that in your house. I respect and I understand it, but just watching it, it just doesn't make any sense. If this is where you agreed to film, you know what you're going to be talking about.
It also seemed out of character for Whitney, because I'm not saying that she's a bad mom. That she's a really great mom. Like, she loves her kids. She has events for them. She's doing the best for them. And, you know, she's going to work for them, going to bat for them, all that good stuff. But at the same time, where does that come from? Like, you've had multiple people at your house to have these scenes, and you've never been like, she made it like a real point. I don't know. It was just weird.
Yeah, it was really strange. But, you know, I can't judge people for how they want to run their household. That's just that. I just thought it was a weird time.
I think that she should be consistent. Like, if you're going to set those rules, set them for everyone, or go and have your conversations where you need to have your conversations. Go to Starbucks, or you should go to Lisa's house. But don't, like, all of a sudden change paces. But I completely agree. Like, if you have kids in your house and they're within an ear's reach, then you should not be using certain language. You know, you should be cognizant of what you're saying. But it's just like, you have a big ass house. Go in another room. Don't be weird.
A house so big.
A house is not a home.
Like, with an outdoor area at that. So
exactly, you were just out there painting tiki torches, which was a mess. So it's like, just go somewhere else. And then she was like, oh, my kids think that we're mad at each other. Like, she just made it such a huge deal that it kind of pissed me off. Anyways, let's move on. Heather Gay, she is really pushing this Bad Mormon book. That's her storyline. And that, you know, she wants to tell Lisa how, you know, she can be a Mormon.
Heather's on my nerves.
Go on.
Heather's on my nerves. I just don't like the whole thing. I really want to talk about her putting her 2 cents in Jack's mission and what he has going on. I thought that was totally, like, not her place. And it was weird. I don't know if she did that to promote the book or whatever, but I wish she would have chose something else.
I totally agree. Like, it feels like everything that she's doing is to promote this Bad Mormon book, which I thought we were over with that last season. But at the same time, it's just like, it's always some bullshit with her with this book, because I don't like, one, you're trying to tell someone how to practice their religion, and people practice their religion differently. Just because you got excommunicated from the church and now you're capitalizing off of it doesn't mean that every Mormon needs to be a by the book Mormon like you were. You don't get to tell people how to act. You don't get to tell people that they're not. I also think
it's more serious too when you're talking about somebody's kids. It's like, if this was your opinion on Whitney, or if this was your opinion on Lisa, even fine. But when you bring kids into play, it's really weird, especially when you just had a conversation with your daughters about how they might be bullied at school, etc. Why would you do that?
And then on top of that, she's talking about when she did her missionary or whatever it's called. That was, sorry, babe.
She did her mission in like 1915.
In the 1900s.
Yeah.
Like
and
Tamara said.
2023 now. So
this is 2023, so many things have changed. So you can't tell people, oh, he's going to be going door to door to convert people. Everyone is doing something, you know, it might be that, or it might be something else. So this is also like 2023. You don't know what it's like, because why are you so worried about it if you are out of the church?
It doesn't make any sense.
Like, she really pisses me off with that. Like, that's how, like, if someone came up to you and was like, oh no, you can't believe in God because you're wearing polyester, or they pick something out of the Bible and they're like, oh, you're doing that wrong, so you must not believe in God. You're not God. You're not me.
It's like, really strange too. Like, what is she getting at? How do you feel about Meredith?
Meredith, I think that she is taking a little bit of a back seat this season because she's carried the last 2 seasons, but she still is kind of being the bone carrier. But this is the thing with the whole Angie K thing. She wasn't the one who said the rumor. It was, again, Monica. Yeah. So now Angie K is blaming Meredith about starting a rumor or having ammo or whatever that bullshit is, when it's like you're talking to the person who started that shit. I did like to see the segment where her and Seth had the podcast. That was a nice
and then they realized they weren't recording, and I was like,
us is fun.
Yeah, I do enjoy Meredith. I like seeing the back and forth with her and NGK. I just do.
Yeah, I mean, you like drama.
I do.
And that's fair.
I like it. What are your feelings towards Angie K?
I think that Lisa got her good, because don't tell me, like, we're loyal people. I get exactly what Lisa meant. If you telling me you don't like a bitch, you don't fuck with a bitch, this same bitch that you don't like called your husband gay and said that he's good in bed and men are talking about him and all this stuff, and now you're kikiing in her face while she is attacking me and how I look and what I do. You're telling me one thing and you're doing another, and I'm so loyal that I look like an asshole in a situation where I was trying to protect you, Pillsbury Doughboy. So yeah, Angie can go. She's boring.
I like Angie.
You always have.
I always have. I always will. You know.
But what do you think about her fakeness? Their fake assness.
It's complicated because I do understand her wanting to be like maybe hearing Monica out and wanting to start a new leaf with her. But I do believe she could have accomplished that without kikiing with Monica at that event when Lisa was singing and all that extra shit, because then it makes you look two-faced. Had she not done that, and had she been pretty upfront about what she was doing in the conversation that she had, which maybe I could understand why she even waited, but had she just not did the kikiing and the two-faced shit, I think Lisa would have been fine with that.
Right. That's my thing. Yeah. Is, okay, you want to drop something, we can drop it, but let me know. Right. You're fake as fuck. Like, I don't know. I don't like that shit. That fake behavior is, it's a no for me. Because I get exactly where she's coming from. Because I've been in that situation. So, multiple times. Because I'm a Capricorn, so I'm loyal. So, when people drop stuff, I'm like, okay, I'm going to drop it, but I just personally don't like the bitch. But I wouldn't keep going with her like Lisa was. But the only reason that Lisa kept going at her is because she's thinking that Angie K doesn't fuck with her. Right. And she's just like, oh, I feel like I'm in the middle. I feel like I'm in the middle. No, you put yourself in this situation.
I will admit, that was the one thing from Angie K that I did not like, Prior to that, we were having such a great time.
You need to DM her and be like, hey, don't do that shit again.
Don't do it again.
And
But
what's so
I think
funny
she's going to be on the
is
right
that
track.
Monica got on Twitter and talked about how she hurt herself at Angie K's house. And what's so funny is that Monica was by herself at BravoCon. Angie K wasn't hanging out with her. Lisa wasn't hanging out with her. Heather wasn't hanging out with her. Whitney wasn't hanging out with her. Meredith wasn't hanging out with her. So if you're kikiing with Monica and you wanted to start on a new leaf and you forgave her for calling your husband gay and telling that your husband had boyfriends all over town and all this bullshit, why weren't you fucking with her at BravoCon? Oh, because everyone's against her, because everyone got beef with her because she's a fucking problem. So I think that Angie K really needs to get it together.
I agree. Me personally, I couldn't have did it, especially if you're talking about my household and then you're making all these accusations about my significant other. It's just a bit strange.
Accusations.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. There has been no like non-watchable episodes. I feel like it's just been hit after hit after hit. Even the filler quote unquote episodes are good because this was like a little bit of a filler episode. I love seeing Lisa and Monica go back and forth. I like seeing Meredith and Angie K go back and forth. What I don't like is Heather just being, you know, whatever she's being. I don't like that shit. But let's move on to something that just came back. We're on the 3rd episode of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Obviously, the question on everyone's mind is not just about Kyle and Mauricio, which I will ask you about that after, but what did you think that Sutton had that huge bitch fit about?
Because she wasn't chosen first.
So she wasn't chosen first because she was on the American
No, not at all. I mean, that was a great reason. I was like, valid. When she said that, I'm like, well, maybe so. But now, after seeing everything play out, it's definitely because she wasn't chosen first. You came, you had your singles, you were ready to turn up.
You had your pants on.
The thing that really did it for you was the split, the open leg thing, which, okay, granted, my mom would have probably felt the same way. She would have been like, no, this is too much. Like, she is doing so much.
Yeah, my mom would have walked out.
Yeah. So I'm like, I understand that, but just don't make the moment about you. That was my biggest problem. I have been agreeing with Erica a lot.
Yeah, that was what I was going to ask you. You were like, so far, the star of this season has been Erica.
Erica is the star of the season.
I want you to elaborate on that.
Erica is the star of the season. I like how she's coming. I like that she says what she says. She's not really too like confrontational about it. She'll just make her points and she'll move on. And I like that. I get it. Why am I going to sit here and argue with you, especially when I just got done going through all this shit? Do you think that I'm going to sit here and argue with you? You got it. Like, you can have it.
But what did you think about the newest episode when she ran into the Magic Mike guys and she was like, this is
she said, God, this is
hey, you guys. Yeah. What did you think about that?
I thought she was absolutely right for it.
You're messy as hell then.
I'm maybe a little messy, but I thought she was right for it because it's like, I understand that this was perfect timing. And I do kind of feel like what she said had some truth to it. Do I think it was God? Not exactly. But do I think it was just like...
God is like, why am I in it?
Convenient? Absolutely. You mean to tell me I'm about to get on this elevator and then it's like your ass who fucked up my night is right here by me, and then the dancers on the stage who were showing me a good time are right here? She's like, this can be more perfect. Even Garcelle, once the situation was over, she's like, come on. Like, they were in the elevator. And then Sutton's like, I don't like that.
For her to embarrass me?
But Sutton embarrass herself, because why are you walking out? You're storming out. You're running into the bathroom. You're bringing the what is it? The ballet? What is she a part of?
The American Ballet Foundation. She's on the board of the American.
You're bringing them up, and they're probably like, we don't want any parts. Like, they're eating their granola, and they're sitting at the table. It's fine.
They're practicing Black Swan, and they're like, we don't give a fuck about this at all.
And playing Bridgerton music, they do not care.
They're like heel toe, heel toe. We don't care what you're doing, dude.
And she's just so like focused on that. She's like, and then she just did a split and she opened her legs, and I'm like, Erica was having a good ass time, and Kyle had a good ass time too. And I just love that so much for Kyle, because when she got done, that's when she went to go find Sutton and comfort her, and she was like, oh yeah, Sutton. And then when she came, she's like, well, I can't really say shit because I just had the time of my life.
The only thing that I didn't like about Kyle in that situation was that Sutton told her to like get the fuck up, get out of my face, like leave me alone. And then Kyle kind of like made it about her. It's like,
but I do agree, Sutton, you're acting fucking weird. Like, this is Crystal's birthday. This is an event for everybody. Go the fuck home if you don't want to be there. But don't sit and ruin the event for everybody and then make everything about you, because you know that people are concerned about you. They care about you. Probably not Erica. But now everybody that Erica is at the event with is now comforting you. So it's just her and Crystal. So now I look like an asshole because I'm sitting in here by myself while you guys are in the bathroom.
My thing is, she shouldn't have left if she was just going to come and preach to Sutton about why she shouldn't be upset. Like, girl, you were having the time of your life. Go back, because you made it look rude because Sutton already left. Okay, Garcelle's her best friend, so let Garcelle go and comfort her. You were having fun, so go and sit with Dorit and Erica and make sure that Crystal's having a good time because it was Crystal's birthday. Her mind should have been on making sure that Crystal is fine. She could have checked on Sutton, sure, but she didn't need to go and then just like continue to ram onto Sutton. Like, girl, go and worry about what Morgan's doing. The only other thing that I wanted to bring up so far about Beverly Hills before we wrap up is Dorit and Garcelle. Dorit has had some moments in confessionals that are hilarious to me. But when it comes to Garcelle expressing how she felt about not feeling safe talking about her kids with the group, and Dorit kind of just made it about her. And then when they were in the Sprinter van, I think it was this most recent episode, she's like, oh, you don't need to be yelling. It's just like anything that Garcelle does, Dorit is on her ass. And it's like, okay, well, let's just really talk about what your storyline is. You keep getting robbed. Maybe if you shut the fuck up and worry about your house and your purse and stop telling people how to feel about their kids and being in people's business and stop telling people how to feel, you wouldn't keep getting robbed. Anyways, so before we wrap up, obviously, it's very early in Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. We're only on episode 3. So the only other thing that was bothering me, and I want your opinion on it, is Dorit and Garcelle. When Garcelle is expressing how she didn't feel safe really talking about her kids with them, which was very understandable. Like the way that they acted, one, Diana, that whole thing with the bots, not saying she did it, but we don't know who did. 2, Kyle. 3, Dorit. 4, Mauricio. 5, PK. You guys were like literally mumbling and cackling in a scene about my underage son getting yelled at. So yeah, if I don't feel comfortable talking to you about my fucking children, that's natural. And not only did Dorit make it about her, she continued her nasty ass attitude to the next day when Garcelle, I don't know what they were talking about, but Dorit is like, you don't need to yell. It's just whatever Garcelle does, Dorit seems to have a problem with. And it's like, girl, you keep getting robbed. Worry about getting robbed.
I don't know what it is with that though, because I'm like, I just thought it was one of those situations where she should have just heard her out and just let it go. Like, even if you didn't agree, whatever the case may be, just hear her out and let her go. It wasn't that deep. Let it go. That's how
Because
she
if
felt.
someone talked about Jagger and not Jagger, then she would literally have a heart attack. But since it's Garcelle talking about her underage children, it's a problem.
I feel like, and it's kind of weird though, because if Kyle had said this, she would have been all ears, and she would have just
and
been
they're
like, you know
so
what,
sensitive about Portia and the looming separation that no one really wants to get down to, that Kyle doesn't want to cop to. That's very obvious. You're so worried about that. You're so sensitive about that. You can understand that situation, but you can't understand that literally bots and real life people were saying racist things to your castmate's underage child, and that you got caught in 4K laughing about how Erica was inappropriate with said underage child.
It was ridiculous. I just don't get it. I don't get why they couldn't see it. And then it seemed like everybody else was kind of like siding with except for Erica. I think Erica was kind of like,
because Erica knew she was dead wrong and she needs to redeem herself this season. I will say the sit down with Garcelle and Erica, I liked, because I always thought that they would be friends, but they're just both very strong personalities. Yeah. And Erica really fucked up when she did that shit last year. But, you know, this year is about her going to therapy, trying to say that she's sorry and all that stuff.
Especially and then her being vulnerable and open about her struggle and not being the place where she once was, even though, like, it's not where I am. So it's hard for me to be like,
hard to relate.
Bad. Yeah, but it is admirable.
I wouldn't say it's admirable. I would say that it seems like she's coming down to earth, whether it's a show, if she's faking it or not. I think that this is how she needs to, act. She needs to act remorseful, and she's acting a little bit remorseful. And I'm here for it, because I could not take another season of her just being a bitch all season.
She's funny. She's funny as hell.
Bet it all on Blonde.
She's like, God told me to do it, and I did it.
Anything else?
Yeah, that's Beverly Hills, guys. I'm excited to see the next episode. Excited for them to wrap up this trip and see what else Sutton does.
They're off the trip now. Now Sutton is mad at Erica for what she did. You see that part at the end? Oh yeah.
Like I said,
it felt like a really long trip to Vegas, though. Like, it felt like longer than we stayed.
Yeah, I agree with that. And they also said that Crystal is going to carry this season a lot.
And when is the new housewife going to get introduced? Because we're on episode 3.
Maybe the next one. We'll see.
We'll see. Okay, so what is the pot stirrer?
Ooh, the pot stirrer is...
Dun, 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 dun.
Are you siding? Where do you stand in the Angie K, Lisa Barlow situation? Are you team Angie K, or are you team Lisa Barlow?
Are you a fake ass bitch or you a real ass bitch?
Which one are you?
I'm a real ass bitch.
Let us know.
And what are you?
Oh, I'm always gonna choose Lisa.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Even in this situation?
Yeah.
Especially in this situation. Because it's like, she made a valid point. She might have went about it wrong.
Yeah, she did. She absolutely made a valid point. But do I still want to see Angie K on my screen? Yeah.
All right, y'all. So that's the pot stirrer. We love you so much. Please rate our podcast 5 stars and subscribe to our Patreon, which we will be putting more episodes up very, very soon. And share this YouTube video. Resubscribe to our feed. Please tell people about the podcast. Follow us on Threads, and we love you so much. Have a good weekend.
Love y'all. Bye.